Welcome back to part 2 of Conquering the World, playing an Earth Huge scenario. Just to briefly recap last time, we stopped with a northern barbarian invasion. We've discovered the Germans out to the west, the English out to the northwest, and we are currently exploring our southern border, as well as trying to find additional resources out east and out northeast. As we can see, we've encountered some new civilizations. So it looks like we've discovered the Mongols, who are to our northeast, which is not a good sign, especially around the medieval ages, because they have their unique unit whose name eludes me right now. Let's check out what they're rocking. Okay, so they do have a lot of technologies here. Not good for us. And let's discover these guys next turn. Let's quickly sync up with Germany, see if they have any technologies. Luckily, we have writing soon, so we'll be able to trade around and get some gold. And let's check in with England and see what they have. They are pretty technologically advanced compared to us as well, which does not bode that well. Okay, so let's move on to the next turn. See what we're doing. So our warrior did not do that great, regrettably. But now we have a vulnerable barbarian sitting here, so let's finish this guy. Oh, right, crossing the river. Rookie mistake. Let's finish this guy off. We have our warrior protecting our settler. Let's send them both here to finally reach that much desired city location here. Let's keep this outpost warrior here, and let's make some new friends. Let's see. Lagos. Oh, cool, the Portuguese. Cool. They are kind of hard to predict. Sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they're not. Let's see how it goes here. So the settler, the spearman, has arrived on Novgorod as expected. The motherland is growing well. Let's see, we have our worker still mining that cattle. He should be done in 3 turns, which is great. We have our warrior here posted waiting for us to build a new city here. I'll probably put a city here, and either here on this plane or on this plane to share these central tiles, but also give the cities enough room to grow. Oops, sorry, Portugal. I'm not sure if everyone here watching is too familiar with the strategy, but it's best to avoid doing any trading any technologies with civilizations when they approach you, just because they'll typically trade your technology to other civilizations during their turn. So it's best to wait until your turn to trade any specific technologies. As we can see, our hyper efficient coastal square plus the additional food bonus from the fish gives us a whopping 5 food from this tile. And now this is benefiting all civilizations, and this is going to be our population growth city. So let's make a settler here. We do need some additional workers as well. Let's actually change that to worker to have this, to quickly develop this area of our empire. I like where this warrior is. He's keeping a good lookout across Eastern Europe here. We have this warrior. Let's keep him posted around here. We have this line of sight here, so let's move him here to give us a better view of any potentially invading barbarians. Let's move this warrior here. He's going to protect the settler. Once the settler is almost ready, the spearman will keep on Moscow for now. And things are looking good. Normally I would check in with other civilizations if I have around 100 and something gold, just because we can always buy a potential worker, so that's always beneficial early on in the game. Okay, things are looking good here. Let's automate this scout by hitting E. Just explore the world for us. Again, typically sometimes people will like to micromanage exploration. I typically do so at the beginning of the game when it's most important. So let's see. Since this is a relatively safe space from barbarians, let's set this worker here, and let's make sure no more barbarians appear where we want to settle. Cool, so we do have a Marcomanni conscript approaching from the northwest. Not great. Let's check it out. Moscow. We can see that we are not fully using the tile, so we'll still be done with the spearman, and we'll still be wasting a shield here, so that's fine. I'm thinking of micromanaging here, and maybe getting the settler to be produced a little more slowly, and Moscow can take advantage of the additional shield. Cool. So we'll micromanage on this turn. Produce a settler here. A warrior will be produced too quickly here. So let's actually have Yaroslavl, I'm not probably saying that terribly wrong, be our production powerhouse. We'll micromanage a little later to free up this mine, or just focus on mining more of Novgorod. But let's have Yaroslavl be our military powerhouse, producing most of our military units. That way we don't build too many barracks to keep sure that our building maintenance costs are low, but we still have a strong military. We'll send this warrior here. St. Petersburg is almost done. That will definitely be a settler producing city. We'll free up this mine from Moscow. Maybe send it here. Now we can see the settler won't waste any turns. And let's put this here. So now we've optimized from a much slower growth cycle to producing a settler in 6 turns, and a settler that doesn't waste any shields from discard 1. And we'll keep it that way for a few turns without automating the governor control here. So we'll build a road there. Fortify this warrior here. Things are looking good. And we'll prioritize building this road, because a road here will connect both Novgorod and St. Petersburg, and Yaroslavl and St. Petersburg this way. Plus, improving the grass tiles is typically, I don't know, I'm a little biased towards improving grass tiles first. Still no growth in gold, so we don't really have any benefit to trading technology with any rivals yet. Looks like we've made contact with the Chinese here. Hello, friends. And it looks like they're, luckily for us, technologically behind, so let's see if we can get any technologies out of them. So maybe ceremonial burial and pottery for ironworking. No, they don't feel like that trade. Okay, since we do have some technical leverage, let's actually see if we can trade around. I know we're still the Germans already have writing, which is not good for us, since we won't be able to leverage that. We'll be able to leverage writing with the Portuguese. Can we leverage writing with the English? Yes, nice. And the Mongols are, yeah, pretty advanced as well, but they do not have writing. So I think what I will do is, optimally we want to get ironworking or masonry, because those are pretty important. Let's see if we can get ironworking. Once we discover writing, we don't want to share it with too many other civilizations. Reason being that they'll be able to establish embassies sooner, and if war is declared, they'll be able to team up against you sooner. So we have alphabet and pottery, both tier 1s technologies, trading for an ironworking tier 2. That's good. Okay, let's do it. And let's see actually if we can get any gold out, additional gold out of this trade. No. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if we can get the wheel out of this. No. And masonry. No. Okay. We'll just go with that for now. And we're almost done with writing. So because we're almost done with writing, we're on 2 turns, we can see that we can scale back our research a little bit and start gaining gold as well, which is perfect. This barbarian's smart. He's not attacking us on a mountain range. Smart, because if we attack him, he has a defensive bonus. Apologies, friend. Ceremonial burial. No, you haven't changed your mind. That's too bad. Let's keep exploring here. send this warrior here to observe for any potential barbarians. Scale back our research yet again to get some more gold out of that. Good thing I moved the warrior here, otherwise China would have seen potential weakness here, which is never good. And let's beeline for literature, since I think Germany and England will be ahead of us with researching philosophy. Just a hunch. No embassies. Great, Moscow has another. More culture, that's always good, more territory. So now discard, let's produce units to defend our borders. I believe we're still very far from the maximum allowed units. Yeah, we can still produce 8 more. Now the question is, where do we want to move this guy? We probably want to build a city here. That way we can move, oh, nice, move towards this iron deposit, move towards expanding here with this river for additional growth. But we do want to take advantage of this cattle as well. So in the back of my mind, I'm prioritizing expansion south and west rather than north into these decent lands, decent plains, but it's going to be quite an effort to improve them, and we don't have the worker capacity to do so yet. Once we conquer some civilizations, we'll have some slave laborers and produce more workers, and that'll bode well. And once we discover feudalism, that'll be perfect, because then we can just spam the map with discard cities and see how it goes. Another smart move would be to maybe put a discard city close to the capital here, since it's not going to intervene with our future city plans of here, here, and here. And we can leverage potential improvements to these tiles here. Let's do that actually. Let's build another. We can also build a discard city here and potentially take advantage of these shields here. So I think this is a good spot because we will be able to leverage this bonus grassland once we improve it. We'll be able to share that between our discard cities. We'll also be able to take advantage of these commerce tiles here. If we put a discard city here, we'll be able to use this tile if it's not being used by the capital, and that will bode well for our scientific research. If we really want to push it, we can put discard city here, but we wanted to make a city here and here as well, so that might not actually work out as well as we would have hoped. Discard cities, so we can only put one here. Actually, that would work. Yeah, that would work. Okay. Let's do it. Let's fortify this warrior here. This settler will definitely go towards this cattle because it's about time we take advantage of that food. Here we need some additional production. So let's see what the yeah, we definitely need additional production here. So going with the mining pattern of diagonals, just because that's personal preference, we'll irrigate this way if necessary. So let's go ahead and mine this tile to improve our production. We'll also get a settler in 12 turns if we wait. Let's actually do that. Let's hit this. Let's say auto explore. Let's explore around, make new friends. We've discovered some iron deposits, which is great. Let's contact this governor and restore normal governor micromanagement or non-micromanagement. And I almost forgot, since we have now discovered writing, let's first take a look at what our competitors have. So the Mongols have 99 gold, masonry, the wheel, Mictism. I'm butchering that word. The English have the same technology, so let's see, but they have a little less gold, so might not be as valuable. Germany already has writing, and they have resources and luxuries, so they have a lot of luxuries, so it's good for their growth. The Chinese do not have ceremonial burial right, so we can leverage that to get additional technologies, masonry and the wheel, maybe. France, oh, hello. France has 0 gold, so maybe we'll prioritize them. That's the more valuable technology. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now what will you... Masonry, the wheel, right. Mongols, what will you give me for writing? Oh, they have more gold, right? So let's go to China. Yes, great. Thank you for a great trade. Okay. Right, France. Mongols. What kind of gold can you offer me? Great, thank you for that gold. Already traded with you? No. I know I said we shouldn't trade writing too early, but at this point I'm hoping to get all this gold. That's not too bad, since they'll most likely get it from the Germans soon anyway. Cool, so now we have a technical advantage. That's great, and let's proceed. Now, we do not want to risk a conflict with the English yet, so we will be giving into demands for now. Because the AI is on most aggressive, they will most likely declare war on us, and we are most definitely not prepared for a northern assault. I want to build cities there, not send units yet. Okay, now that St. Petersburg is developing, it's definitely too early to build a settler, but what we can do is once we complete we can build a worker here in a few turns after the population growth, and we can begin sending this worker this way to improve the tiles, as well as then improving Moscow, because we will be pre-building our great wonder here, either the pyramids or the oracle, depending on which get built first. If any do get built, we'll gather up shields, and the objective is to pre-build the Great Library. So on the turn that, well, why tell you? I'd rather show you. Let's see. It's a pretty cheap technique, to be honest, since historically you can't really build wonders and then at the last moment switch what kind of building you are making, but we are accepting that as a fun fiction. So let's advance here. Definitely. That's good. So I'm going to prioritize building mines here and here, because we won't see both St. Petersburg and Yaroslavl would be able to use it, as well as these grass tiles here. I also can potentially... Novgorod has too much corruption already, so it wouldn't be... Even though it would grow rather quickly and be able to pre-build our great library for us, where we gather up all the shields, I do not think that would go very well. But there are bonus tiles around here, which kind of complicates things. Let's see how it goes. Let's connect this road to Moscow, and let us see how it goes. Let's build another discard city here. As we can see, our research has improved. And let's micromanage here. And let's check in with our rivals and see if they've accumulated any workers or gold that they can give us. Okay, they have horseback riding, that's not good. Another technique is you can always buy technology, and if other people don't have it, you can always sell it around. So for example, the Portuguese have horseback riding. If we were able to buy it for 180, we could Yeah, that's too bad. We could sell it around to everybody else. Okay, regrettably we're growing as fast as we can. I was hoping that would be a little faster, but that's okay. Let's build this road here to connect our cities. And still keep moving. Don't be faced by this Chinese warrior. I'm little faced. Go away. And let's start pre-building our Great Library. Manage citizens' moods. Yes. Send the spearman to go out here. And we can either send him here to establish a strong foothold here. We can see the Germans haven't expanded too far east yet towards us. We already have a city here soon, which is good. So we can have a city in 2 turns or in 4. So obviously it's better to start building there. This settler will pop out and he will go directly here. And the world will be okay. This warrior, go military police. Things are looking good. Now at this point we have enough gold, so I'm going to be checking a little more often to see if any of our friends have any workers to offer us. Sorry, quick check to see that screen is recording, good. Quick check to see if they have, will not have changed their minds about giving us horseback riding for 180 gold. As much as I would have liked that. Nope, no workers to sell. Novgorod could use some food this turn, so they are already producing, so we're getting 2 food. So we can get some additional gold towards science here on this turn, or we can get 2 food and 2 gold. So let's do that, and that way we benefit our science budget for 1 turn, and we're still producing a settler in 1 turn, and the world is okay. And that way, because we did that trick, literature went from 19 turns to 18, and it's going to stay that way for 2 turns. Okay, we've produced that warrior, great. Still not enough points for producing anything else, so let's either build a barracks and start making soldiers, or maybe warriors strengthen weak numbers. Let's actually make a spearman. I do not have a good feeling about England making demands, nor a river lad in Berlin here. I do not have a good feeling about that. Okay, we don't need any military policing. Discard 2 will give us the military police for this city. We do need another military police here. So let's maybe do this. Let's send this warrior, let's send this spearman here, where he will guard the new city. Let's send this guy to our next city, which executive decision time will be here. Let's send this guy to military police Novgorod, and let's build Vladivostok. Great. So here we're not going to waste too many turns if we build a worker, because we should improve these tiles rather quickly. Though I do always feel bad about that. That is not super effective. Plus, once our population grows, it'll be the same amount of turns, since we don't have any improvements here. But what we can do is we can, in 5 turns, build a warrior here. First step will be to mine this grassland so Vladivostok can use it. And that way we'll pop out a worker in a shorter amount of turns. Let's do that and not waste valuable shields or food this early on in the game. Okay, so Moscow's doing its thing. We really need to improve these tiles, and soon. And we'll have to micromanage a little to give Moscow access to these mines rather than these rather useless discard cities at this point. So let's actually have this city produce the settler pre-build, and then in 6 turns we're going to switch over Moscow. It's going to take over these mines, and we'll ramp down the production in discard 1. This warrior will pop out soon. Yeah, that would be too quick. Yeah, I think that's good. And let's check in with our friends to see if they have any workers available for us. Sorry if I've already checked this turn. We really need those workers. Especially this early on in the game. Nope. Okay. Novgorod can continue its growth, continue building settlers. I think we're going to waste a few turns here because we'll get another shield here. And I never really do those calculations. I know very advanced players, they'll actually calculate how much this works out to after population growth and all that. Let's see how it goes. We can just switch to producing commerce after a few turns if we end up producing too many shields. Likewise, so this worker is going to mine this for square for Vladivostok. This guy is definitely going to produce that settler too fast. So let's first produce walls so that in case we do get invaded from the south, we have something to defend ourselves with. I'm thinking of whether skipping on these walls for St. Petersburg, because I do want this incense, and yet at the same time those southern civilizations will almost most definitely declare war on us for this resource if we are successful in grabbing it. So it's kind of a catch-22. I'm going to think about that a little more. Okay, so we're going to produce units too fast here. Let's make a spearman. Play the long-term defensive game. Let's produce a worker here and push him into Moscow. Now let's do that after a few turns. In 5 turns we'll take discard 1's mine. We'll produce a warrior rather quickly, and then we'll switch to producing a worker. And by the time he does that, this worker will have mined this square. You go military police this guy. You make this mine. You make a mine here. Shoot that guy. Fortify here. And let's reserve our future spot here, actually. Smolensk. Cool. Let's produce a worker here. That works out pretty nicely. We should make some improvements here. Let's actually have this guy skip his turn so that he defends the settler as he moves. Military police, great. I do want that incense. Let's make sure no barbarians are spawned. Let's establish an outpost there. What happened? Why did this go down? Oh, okay, the military police was decreasing corruption in the city. Good to know. That won't make a significant difference, and I think it'll be a tactical advantage to still look around here. Okay, the Portuguese are fighting someone. I'm assuming that they're just fighting barbarians at this point. Too early for a significant warfare yet. This barbarian's just chilling here. That's fine. Sorry for checking every time. For future videos, I will consider going back and editing to speed these maybe tedious parts up. But in the interest of sharing this entire process, sharing how the game is played. Oh, there we go. England has a worker, but the Mongols do not. Perfect. And this is why we check a return. Let's see, 120. Will you take 110? Nope. Will you take 115? Yeah. Thanks, Elizabeth. Great. So, let's start improving Moscow, all of it with shields, except for this tile, which we can use to irrigate northwards, and then we can replace that with a mine. But a more pressing topic is improving these squares because they'll all have additional commerce, thanks to being in the vicinity of next to a river. So let's do that. Let's first build mines here, and then let's build roads to get that both production and scientific bonus in our capital. Cool. Okay, this guy's going good. We'll start maybe, if we have too much population here, we'll maybe start pop rushing production, although that's bad for long-term happiness in cities. Novgorod's not being managed. Why? That's fine for now. I think I just forgot a setting here. How's Yaroslavl doing? He's taking Novgorod squares. That's not cool, man. Right, because we should mine these. We really should. Okay, we need a worker here and soon. I think I'm actually going to produce this worker so that he, even though we'll lose a few shields here, we'll gain them in the longer term. Okay, definitely barbarians. Let's take a risk here. Yes. Yes. Bad barbarians, bad. I'm not actually very familiar with how effective military police are with lowering corruption, because we did see the amount of turns go up for the warrior when this warrior left, but now we see that the corruption is the same. I wonder if maybe that's because this is it was a fortified warrior. Let's check that out and see if that happens in a few turns. Now we have a mine here. I'm sure that's, yeah, Yekaterinburg's. We can also mine these squares. That's going to ruin my diagonal pattern. Oh well. Let's do what is practical, not what it looks good. Let's send these guys over here. Let's kill this guy for military experience. See, China is very set on expanding. Most likely in this general direction, will most likely want to grab this gold up, maybe expand this way. I think the AI is pretty smart too. They're not going to dedicate all of their resources colonizing this resourceless desert if they have useful lands to the south and to the north. And luckily, both China and the Mongols do tend to declare war if they need to expand, so that bodes well for us. I'm thinking to myself, maybe we can inspire some sort of warfare between the two, so to distract us. To distract them from this vulnerable nation in the center of Asia that is vulnerable from all sides. That's both a positive and a negative of not having anywhere to back up into, like these dudes, or these dudes. These dudes are also pretty surrounded. Okay. Go away. Okay. Let's keep searching around here. Nothing too exciting. Let's actually scout Africa. So why don't you go here? You go here. And sometimes you need to optimize and you go north. And then we'll see how that goes. Okay, we definitely need to present a strong fortified front. See if that corruption decreased. No. Interesting. Let's fortify here. Then we'll move him one up and then fortify him there to watch for any barbarians. And let's move this guy back. Things are looking good. They are on the upswing for us. As we can see, in 3 turns, we'll be able to micromanage a little bit better, a little bit more. This governor is pretty smart because he's taking advantage of the commerce bonus here. I wonder what happens if we place him on horses. Okay, so if we build a road here, we'll be able to generate additional commerce here. That's good. We don't have enough gold for trading for workers, so no trading carousel this turn. Let's actually explore a bit more. Okay, you go on Barbarian Watch, you go on Future City Watch, you auto manage, you go here. Expand our line of sight, keep an eye on things. Okay, this is the part where we waste a few shields. Waste a good amount of shields, actually. I'm thinking maybe we switch away, actually, discard 2 instead of discard 1. No, because discard 1 will still have a settler too soon. Unless we switch this over. If we switch production to the Spearman, or maybe another barracks, we'll definitely start losing more gold per turn. Let's do that. Let's actually switch away. Discard 2, because we'll be able to use this mine in the capital, and that way we will be able to switch away and generate more commerce as well per turn. Every gold counts this early on. Now we can build a worker. And thanks to the 2 population growth and the 5 turns this will take, he will be done in 3, so that'll expedite our production process. We're going to need military police here soon. I think I haven't changed it for despotism. It's still a limit of 2 military police, so it'll take him 4 turns to get here, and it will take you 3 turns to get here. Thinking about micromanaging, yeah. So it's actually quicker. What's actually quicker to do is send this guy here, this guy here, and this guy here. There we go. Fortify and build. Hooray. We should definitely start off with either a worker or walls here. I'm going to bet on the fact that China isn't too pressed, neither are the Mongols, to expand too soon here. So we're going to build a worker to improve our tiles. Before we start any military fortifications out east, but we should be very wary of that. This warrior will keep an outpost here. Alright, fortify there. Let's send a warrior to explore north soon. I'm curious to see what kind of lands we have here, and whether England has colonized them yet along the coast. Doesn't look like we can steal any warriors away yet, which is too bad. Okay, so who do we need more? Do we need warriors more, or do we need... Well, we need settlers more. Very important. Now we'll be able to produce defensive units. Perfect. This should definitely be a settler. Can we be producing any more shields? Yes, in 3 we'll be able to use this mine. That is going as planned. We'll dagnab it. All of our competing civilizations have produced all of the wonders, so we can't really pre-build our great library. But luckily, we can build a temple, which will take us 8 turns, so we can't really do too much here. Great. A hack around this is we can always check which cities. Yaroslav was in 2nd place in terms of shields per turn, but they won't be able to grow past 6. Yaroslav won't be able to grow past 6, which is the next best option is no. They'll be able to grow past 6. So they're maybe our next best option in terms of pre-building, since they always have the palace. The palace is 100 shields, whereas the Great Library is let's see, 400, I believe, shields. So I don't think we're going to be able to get enough shields in time. I think we can stick with Moscow as our pre-build the temple, micromanage so that we don't build it too quickly, and that'll give us 60 shields of pre-build towards the Great Library, and we'll hope that we'll be able to finish the Great Library in time before a rival civilization does, which is too bad, but such is life when you've improved the productivity of all the tiles and put your competing capitals on rivers and gave each mine 2 shields instead of 1 to make the game a little more competitive and a little more interesting. I think I've mentioned this before. Dagnabbit, rest in peace. But we are playing on Monarch rather than Emperor or anything above that. Okay, fortify. Go here. Grab that. Nice plot of land. Okay, now that we've grown here, that's worked out nicely. We were able to take that mine, move things around. This guy's building a spearman. In 4 turns he could produce a settler, which I was thinking of maybe we could send maybe the slave laborer here actually to provide the population for that settler. But that's not the most opportune thing to do. Let's go with the spearman, since we could always use the defensive units. And because we built a barracks, we can see we were perfectly balanced, but now we're losing gold, so we can definitely not afford to have too many. Oh, that works out nicely with the settler. We can't afford to have too many buildings that have maintenance costs for now, since we're not along coasts, so we don't really have that much commerce to work with. What was this guy going to pre-build? I think he was going to make warriors. And he was going to improve this tile. Ah, there we go. That's just enough to reach there. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Improve that tile. The temple is still 7, and so is literature, so we're not going to accidentally build a temple before we finish literature and switch over to the Great Library, which is good. This guy will stay here so that he can escort the settler to future cities. The Germans are expanding eastwards, so we might want to make a natural barrier here along the Ural Mountains. So kind of a personal goal of this is where we want to build our cities and expand northward here. We're probably not going to lose the race to colonize these lands. Let the Germans and English improve these plains. Yeah, definitely don't have enough resources. That's the military police for that rapidly growing city. And we do not have enough gold for any additional trades, regrettably. Our next city is going to be here. And then probably, actually no, here. Because we are giving our capital, actually no. Yeah, here, because we're going to have some overlap with our capital, but not too much, as well as neighboring cities, but not too much overlap. Then I don't like to put cities too close to each other. I mean, in the final layout. So our city after that will most likely be somewhere here. That way we make sure to use all the tiles, but we don't want to conflict with the city. I definitely want to put one here as well. Let's see. If we put a city here, I guess we can make an exception for coastal cities. If we had really efficiently planned ahead, we would have put a city here. We would have planned out for this. We would have probably put Vladivostok a little further southeast so that we could minimize overlap. Okay. We'll put a city here, and then we can always, I do want to take advantage of those coastal tiles. we should explore this side and see what we can do with those tiles. Maybe we'll be able to make use of the coast from this side. And then that way I won't worry too much about settling inland here, rather than making a priority to settle along the coast and efficiently space my cities. You guys mind those tiles? This guy is now using this tile. So if we switch things around for a bit and prioritize settler production over growth, now we can see that we're producing a settler quicker. Perfect. Let's do that. Let's also keep building mines, but now let's build one here so that the capital can use it as well, if need be. Let's keep a warrior here that's going to escort our future settler. Things are progressing as expected. Perfect. Novgorod is producing a settler too quickly now, but we do not want to make it a military city. What if we bought, no, St. Petersburg is at a good pace. I was thinking of stealing the cow from St. Petersburg and giving it Novgorod, but that's not really efficient. Yaroslav is going to grow in a turn, so it's going to get another shield bonus. That's going to be perfect. Let's keep going. We are almost done with part 2 of conquering the world. Welcome to the world, Krasnoyarsk. Almost done with this part. There we go, almost done with the settler. Let's keep going. Great, Vladivostok has produced our worker. So now we are going to want to mine this cattle for sure. And I think that should give us enough food to produce this settler in time. We can always produce a warrior and then rush the production of the settler, but then we won't be able to use this tile. So let's actually make a worker to improve the surrounding tiles. Oh, just kidding, we just made a worker. Let's keep exploring here. Since we have already explored, we'll send the settler and warrior here, then make a warrior somewhere here. Hello, Portugal. Can I help you? Math, philosophy, and horseback riding, great, they're really ahead of us, so we can really use a great library. Probably should have kept better track of where my competing civilizations are. No, of course not. Not for math. England, they also have mathematics. Mongols, come on, Mongols, no. Okay, so we are pretty far behind technologically. That's manageable, that's not terrible. We can work with this. Discard 2, okay, what's the plan? Discard 2. I think I'll have so warriors are 10 shields, we're going to produce 12 in 4 turns, so we're going to waste a few shields. If we produce the spearman, at least we're wasting a little less shields. So let's do that. Worker is going to be produced soon, so we can always do that. We can also trim these forest tiles and dedicate these shields to production in the city here. But we don't want to pre-build any libraries, that's for sure. We're going to pop rush, so temples, culture is very important, but we are not going for that yet. Growth is important, of course, but our largest priority is settlers right now. So let's have Smolensk be a relatively underdeveloped city for now. We'll develop mines, but those are going to be dedicated towards Moscow. I know I said I'd develop this area, but I think most of the developments will be used by Yekaterinburg at this point, and the city here. Yeah, and I think a city should go... Still can't decide. Okay, if a city goes here, then we can put a city here as well, and then maybe a city here, and then a city here, and that'll be fine. This is a little, we're not using the space as much as I would have hoped, but we're still 1-2 used by this future city here. The capital is using up to here. We're not wasting this because St. Petersburg, we're not wasting any squares here because of Vladivostok, so I think we will be okay. We will be in the clear if we put a city here. We won't be wasting any tiles here and here. Okay, gotta remember that. Under the left horse and above the warrior. Okay. Let's have our governor optimize. Optimize. And let's build a road to Krasnoyarsk. This is fine. You stick with producing military units, and we're going to need some military police here soon. We're also going to need some units here. So we'll have a spearman rather quickly. St. Petersburg will be fine. Discard 1 will maybe not be fine. Yeah, what we can do is we can make more discard cities, and we'll be okay. Maybe another discard city here, another discard city there. Where is the best place to put you? Oh, of course. We've had some population growth. Perfect, so now we can restore management here. This is fine. So now we'll produce that rather quickly. Be sure to connect our cities. Improve on a diagonal pattern. That doesn't matter. I typically try to improve on a, hey, nice, Incense. I try to improve in a diagonal pattern because that lets us pass irrigation through. Like if I do this, I won't be able to pass irrigation through. I'll have to go around or through Vladivostok. Improve. This automatically lets us irrigate on the other side. So to get at St. Petersburg, I could irrigate this way actually as well. But if there was no river here, then I would have to irrigate the long way, and that would have been terrible. Let's see if we can trade any of our mictism to England maybe, or I could have sworn there was a country, definitely not Portugal. Oof. Yeah, they beat us to philosophy for sure. Somebody didn't have mixtism. Was it China? I guess everybody has it now. Oh well. Okay, let's see a bit more. The world here, let's hope we can use, oh, we can make use of these coastal squares now. So our city will go here. And let's play a few more turns. Whoops. Sorry, Portugal. Yes, let's continue creating units that are now rather strong. This is good. Okay, protect our borders here. We do want to give off a strong impression to the Chinese, as well as a strong presence here to the west, where we have an impending invading forces, the powerful coastal civilizations, but we do not want to underestimate the Mongols and the Chinese as well. Let's put this spearman here, and then he'll escort all the settlement out east. And then this spearman will go here. Let's build roads here. Since this mine is being used, actually, I should have told him to mine. Oh well, this will be a city. Okay, skip a turn, that's fine. Let's keep exploring this way. And yeah, I think things are fine as they are here. Oops, sorry. Let's see what we can do here. So both temple and literature are done in one turn. That was a concern of mine. Let's keep improving the capital. So we'll trade one travel point for improving this tile sooner. There we go. Great line of sight. Hey, we made new friends. And they are more advanced than us. Great. Not good. Okay, we're going to be done with the settler in a few turns here, so we can always not worry too much about that. Little did I realize that this is still 1 square away from the city on a diagonal. So let's actually do it under this horse. That'll be fine. And we'll put a discard city there. And approaching our final turn, let's quickly save the game. Cool. We have literature, and now let's be sure to switch Moscow over to the Great Library before we make any brutal mistakes. Let's also do our best and hope that we will get to the Great Library first. We'll take kind of a risk. We'll switch over to the Great Library, which we will have complete in 69 turns. We will avoid trading literature away at all costs. And this is on a good spot. Let's continue producing settlers. Let's continue producing warriors. I was definitely right about this land here, so let's push northward here. Definitely can't produce much of anything here before we trim away any of the trees here. Let's explore a bit more westward, even though it's not too fruitful yet. Let's send this worker here. Let's send this worker here. Let's build a road here for commerce. This settler will go here to start using our improved tiles, sharing them. This will be 5 turns, 6 turns, whereas this will be 2 turns. Yeah, that's using the city sooner. There we go. Skip a turn. And that concludes part 2 of Conquering the World.